Linux works great on servers, it just does the job reliably. On the desktop, however, a handful of projects and basically one company keep forcing their choices onto everyone else. Most users and smaller projects don't have paid developers, so they have little choice but to go along with it. Red Hat keeps pushing its preferences. Flatpaks are now the universal package format for desktop apps. Systemd has been the default init system for over a decade. And now they're forcing everyone toward Wayland by dropping X11 support entirely in Enterprise Linux 10. Developers basically have to follow along or swim completely against the current of the ecosystem. Most choose to comply, partly because the broader Linux desktop community is dominated by people who aggressively attack or overwork anyone who resists the mainstream direction, often with endless nitpicky issues and bad faith behavior. A lot of it feels driven by activist types, DEI priorities, and minority overrepresentation in loud voices. The bottom line: if you want the smoothest, best-supported desktop Linux experience, you pretty much have to use whatever Red Hat ships to its enterprise customers. They picked GNOME because it's simple, consistent, and easy to document, which matters a lot when big companies pay for certification training manuals and official books. GNOME also adopted GPL licensing early on, so it avoided the licensing headaches that plagued some alternatives back then. As a result, people have been stuck with it for over 24 years. Many scientists and academics first encountered Linux through university or research institution Red Hat systems, so they stayed with that world decades later. The ecosystem keeps steering the whole community toward Red Hat's preferred stack. That's the sad reality of the Linux desktop today. I personally use Alma Linux. It's the most successful free binary-compatible clone of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. CERN has adopted it across their infrastructure, and it has solid vendor/community backing beyond just being anti-Red Hat. As long as I stick close to the Red Hat way, just using the clone without wild deviations, it actually works very reliably and does exactly what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, this creates a real barrier for Linux desktop adoption. Newcomers, especially students, usually install something trendy like Ubuntu, Pop! OS, Mint, whatever someone on Reddit said, because they don't know any better. Using Enterprise Linux properly for daily desktop use actually requires a bit of Linux experience already, which makes it intimidating for true beginners. All of this makes Linux look hobbyist and fragmented to outsiders. Serious, smooth Linux usage usually only happens when someone first encounters it at work, with proper sysadmins managing it. That mostly occurs in big scientific institutions, CERN being a prime example, some nonprofits, and occasionally public sector environments. In the end, I've come to love Linux again once I understood the political and corporate forces shaping it. But I also hate that Windows isn't going anywhere anytime soon thanks to how poorly the Linux desktop situation has been handled.